Your question seems to be whether each of us had BlackBerries. And I'll go first and admit, not only that I never had one, I've never touched one before we started shooting this movie. The first time I ever held a BlackBerry in my hand was on set. I had no cultural relationship with them whatsoever, apart from knowing that my dad used one. So I think I was an outlier in that.
For me, BlackBerry was one of the few countries that I had like a true sense of brand loyalty towards. Like, I only got rid of mine about 3 years ago when my sort of mother teamed up with my wife and my sister and said, "You're not on group text, so you can't see your baby niece." So I was like, what do you do with that, right? And I'm like, yeah, but I like the buttons. You know, that doesn't do anything. So now I'm just like every other person. But yeah, I adored it. I adored the tech. I thought it was a great machine. And I can't believe I said I adored the tech. God forbid I ever say that sentence again. But yeah, it was a wonderful machine. And I was also like, I'm going to get real hokey here. I was proud that it was a Canadian thing, you know? And I tried to, wherever possible, kind of support, you know, my stuff made in my country. So yeah, I loved it. And it was a huge bummer when everyone stopped using them.
I do not support Canada, so I never had one. Oh, no. I love Canada. I really do, actually. My wife and I talk about how much we love Canada all the time. That's actually true. But no, I never had a BlackBerry for the exact reasons that everyone loved and wanted a BlackBerry. Those were all the major selling points of what was great about having a BlackBerry were all the reasons that I didn't want one, which is to be available at any time to communicate with. I just want to be left alone most of the time, and to have this damn thing pinging and beeping at me all the time was just an absolute nightmare. So I didn't do it until I saw the iPhone and was completely seduced by it, just like everyone else was. I was like, well, that's just so cool. There was nothing cool to me about the BlackBerry. It was just like, it's just a mini computer. I didn't even like my computer. If I could have thrown my computer out the window, I would have. You know what I mean? I didn't want just a small thing. But then the iPhone, oh, so cool.
You hear this shit?
Yeah. So no, I didn't have one.
I actually was a fan of Palm, and I know. So I know, I'm old school, but I helped build 3M because I spent a lot of money on that device. I never had a BlackBerry, and I didn't even know it was a Canadian company actually until I read the script, and so. But I thought it was appropriate that Matt cast me as Carl Jankowski, being a Palm Pilot fan. So.
Big Palm guy.
Yeah, it was very difficult. We were looking for actors who specifically only used Palm Pilots.
It was down to me and maybe.
And we found Cary,
yeah,
and Kelsey Grammer.
That was it.
That was it. It was two to pick from. You were asking about me acting in this. Originally, I had no plans to act in this, mostly because all of our partners were vehemently against it. Actually, they're sitting right in front of you. Wow, that's crazy. I remember Niamh saying, "I don't see you in this role." And I thought, well, okay.
He's right there, everyone. He's right there.
Yeah. You know, Johnson, I love you. I don't see you as Doug. And it was Jay who, on the phone, when we were talking about the film, said, "I'm only going to do this if you'll act with me." And I thought, fuck, this is going to be really hard, because not only am I going to need to live up to his impression of what that's going to mean, but it means that what he's actually saying to me is, I want you to be there to support me as an actor. And we wound up doing that the whole film, and that was really the treat of my life, because it wasn't really like directing a film. It was really like having that relationship that you see in the movie expand outside of the context of the film, because that very much became our relationship in real life as we were making the film. It helped me hugely. But I saw it as a directing tool more than as a means to an end as an actor. There is a culture of like men's locker rooms, of men's sports, of men's competition that I grew up in the 90s that was that it had a feeling that I just knew. I knew what it felt like when I was with all my friends, say, playing Warhammer, and somebody of a higher status from a sports team or something would come in the room. I knew that feeling so well. Yeah. Like, I just knew it. I could taste it.
And interestingly enough, my experience in life is almost completely different. I've never enjoyed male-dominated spaces. I prefer feminine energy personally to male energy. I get.
Oh, what a nice guy.
No, I'm not. It's not. It's more just that I'm really. I think it was an interesting thing to explore as an actor to this alpha male persona, because it's something that I reject in my real life. I tend not to like. I don't like alpha male energy. If I sense an alpha male trying to do alpha male things in a room with me, I'm just like, it just comes off as very insecure to me. It doesn't. It doesn't come off the way I think the person hopes it's coming off, which is confident. It just comes off as insecure. So it was a lot of fun to do as an actor. It's great to be able to explore a side of myself that I don't explore in my real life.
After day one of shooting, we had a little meeting on strategy. Okay? My cinematographer, Jared Rabb. We had a meeting on strategy, okay? And you want to know what the meeting was? Okay, we're not going to talk about the shots anymore. Just put these guys in a close-up every take. And that's all we did. And that final scene is a great example of that working very well, because you may not know this, but most films, and these guys would know because they've done it their whole lives, most films proceed like this. You shoot your master, then you shoot mediums, then you shoot close-ups, or sometimes the reverse. Sometimes the director will shoot the close-ups first. But these guys were so good, and again, they were doing such varied things that we needed a system where we'd be like, okay, we need to be on them in a close-up all the time. We can't shoot masters ever, because we're going to miss all this stuff. And so that final scene is a great example, in my opinion, of this strategy really paying off. Because I'm telling you, if we had shot a master of that scene and then gone in to shoot the close-ups after, or vice versa, we would have missed half the good shit.
Yeah, that would have been a huge mistake.
It would have been horrible. Because what you guys are all talking about, this moment where Jay feels incredibly well, he said he hated himself. He plays that a couple times in the film, where you just see his eyes darting between the sides of his head. And you realize, oh, this guy knows he made a mistake. He knows he was a bad boy. That doesn't happen every time. Like, you guys just get to see the finished movie. It's really, really hard to find those little moments, because they're magic, and they only happen once in a while. And so your camera needs to be ready, literally, to be like, oh, shit, this is it. And then once you have it, you have it. But if that happens in the master, you're dead, because it's not going to happen again. And so this scene was us trying to be ready for these magical moments of performance, so that we knew we'd be able to use it. And I think it also takes a lot of pressure off the actors, because it means that you don't need to be like, okay, now I'm in my close-up, now I need to do this. Okay, now I'm in my one.
I give it everything.
Yeah, exactly.
No. Every shot, baby. Big, small, large, I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
That's right.
No such thing as a close-up.
Yeah.
Well, I think we managed to get through a press conference without anybody asking about Glenn's hair, so it's a good time to stop. Thank you all. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.